We are broadcasting, and then the channel will go live. And when it does, I say, hello, everyone, and welcome to Adventure on So Many Levels. We're going to play some Dungeons and Dragons.
Dungeons and Dragons!
I'm Christiana Ellis, and I am the Dungeon Master for this campaign. Our players are Jenny Meltzer as Zaleen, the Drow Warlock.
I wonder if I fell asleep in the house and the Dark Mistress came to me, if I would see her dreams.
Should I say also Warlock / Cleric?
Yes.
I should. Starla Hutchton as Carolina Swift, Changeling Bard.
Hello, friends.
Mark Kilfoyle as Nedry Shiny Rock, Gnome Wizard.
I'm pretty sure I could get a whole treatise out of which question to ask the dead. We've only got a few.
Paul Fisher as Zinhorn Windborn, Dragonborn Cleric.
Good evening.
And last but not least, Chooch Schubert as Sequential, the Warforged Artificer.
Hello, hello.
And of course, the party pet, the currently shrunk down to guinea pig-sized gray render, Buster.
He's a good boy, he's a good boy.
So, when last we left our heroes, you had a whole bunch of loot and a dead guy that you had extracted from this mysterious magical auction within this magical tower that you have found as you
Collecting
pursue.
corpses is a hobby.
Yeah, it really is so
More
far.
like a side effect.
Yeah. But you had investigated several of these items that you got, attuned to some of them. You managed to get a night's sleep before you planned to speak with dead with this individual that you retrieved from the auction house. And you did so before using the spell gem to cast True Resurrection on him, because you knew that's going to release someone else who you don't know who it is. Maybe you should talk to him first. And we ended on the note of discovering that the person who is dead seems to be of the opinion that you should not release the person who's in the spell gem.
I believe he said avoid it at all costs.
Yes. But it's
Was
also
that
true.
our last question?
That
Yes.
was your last question. And
Yep.
it also seems, though, that one imagines that if you were able to question the person in the spell gem, they might have another opinion. So,
About bringing him back to life.
well, yeah, I mean, it might be that he's, the guy in the gem thinks that you should let him out.
I think we
wonder-
should bring them both back, put them in the same anti-magic cage in the bag, and let them fight it out.
Yeah.
I wonder if Nedry could communicate with the guy in the gym.
I don't know if he's on the same plane. We can certainly try. Although messages might be more effective now that we know who he is.
Yeah. And yeah, Carolina could probably send him a message and ask him his opinion.
So, a question.
We're doing a survey. We'd like to have
So
your opinion on
tired.
this.
We already
course of
took a
that.
nap.
I do have a question. I do have a bit of business that I want to ask about, and that is the pipe, which is this other item that you got out of the auction, and I believe Zinhorn was currently holding. Was it your intention to attune to this pipe?
It was my intention to attune to the pipe.
So here's the thing. I think you're kind of in the okay, now what stage after that speak with dead, when you realize that, yeah, I did mean to do that, didn't I? And somehow I didn't. You still have it there, but you did not attune to it as you meant to.
Yeah, I mean,
Did you forget?
yeah, I did forget.
Doesn't that pipe mess with your memories?
Well, it's supposed to show your memories, but this is like an advanced version of it. And
Yeah, there were some things about it that the identify spell were not able to fully process.
yeah, so I mean, I'm in no rush. We have more pressing things right in front of us.
Fair enough.
Um, so we'll just, I'll just put it in my backpack. It's got its fancy box that'll keep it safe.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then I think we're back to the point of how fast do we want to get out of here to lose whoever is obviously watching the tower?
Hmm.
Well, I looked out and there's something in the sky. We think it might be an airship. We don't know for sure because we couldn't see through the clouds.
Right, but that was before we took the long rest, right?
No, I think it was when we woke up, wasn't it?
Yes,
I
it
don't
was when you
remember.
woke up.
Okay.
Well, I thought that was yesterday because the magic mouth was on the door and
No,
it said the thing about the nightmares.
Okay,
and
yes, you're right.
Yeah, you're right.
It was before it was before the long rest. It was after all of the business with the auction, but before the long rest.
Mhm.
because we got the for warning of foreboding,
Yes.
something like that.
Mhm.
It was
was.
creepy and ominous.
Yes.
And,
Yes. The warning that there might be nightmares, and then there were.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Creepy nightmares too.
And also, we all had that level of exhaustion except for Zinhorn and Nedry.
Mhm.
So we had discussed before about Nedry casting fly on himself, and then I'll make him invisible, and he will carry all of us in the bag to where.
No, in the
where
in
was-
the castle, in the tower.
Yeah,
Oh,
in the
right.
castle, I think, because it'll be
Right.
small at that point.
So here's the question: where do we want to go? We have this person that I think probably should be brought back to life, and I think the nearest. I don't know if there's a temple of Rushama. There's usually little temples around everywhere, but I don't think we want to go back into Gorn here. I think it's not too terribly far to the Temple of Sitzlebek. It's further north, but
When you say not too far, what do you mean by that?
well, it's closer than Pashan.
It's not
Ah.
really a great measure, though.
It
Bashan's
is.
quite a ways away.
It is also in the opposite direction from Emersham, where you were originally going.
How
I'm not
long
gonna
do you
go
think it
to-
would take us to get to Emerson?
Well, it was going to be a few days by airship, so at least 2 or 3 times that by foot. But if we had a wagon or a horse or something else, it would be faster.
We're not going to be able to get one of those here because we got to kind of get out of here.
Yeah, we can't go into town here.
What about the farmer?
I mean,
That
he might
was
have a
it.
horse. Did the farmer have a horse? I don't remember.
Yeah, we slept in the barn. Do we remember seeing any horses?
I mean, I think that yes, this
You're
down
pretty
on his
poor.
luck farmer that was already having financial problems did have a horse.
Maybe we could pay him for a horse
That seems reasonable.
and like a wagon or something. Or he could at least maybe direct us to someone who.
That's pending
Nearby.
they didn't go to the Temple of Sitzlebek like I told them to. They may have gone, but maybe they didn't. It was I left.
Well,
it
I
up
mean,
to
that
them.
would be on the way, right?
No, the Temple of
Where?
Sitzlebek is in the opposite direction from Emersham.
No,
So-
I mean on the way back to that guy's house.
Well, yes,
No, that's
sort
south
of.
Gorn.
Yeah, so from where you are now, Emersham is to the southeast.
Okay.
The farmer's farm was a little bit south, more or less, on the road that you would take to go to Emersham. So if you were going there first, it's not out of the way necessarily. I mean, a little bit, but not compared to the overall distance you're traveling.
How many days has it been since we encountered him?
I think
or three?
3, yeah.
Three?
Yeah. I mean, maybe they didn't go yet.
Maybe they don't go at all. It's
Maybe.
I have no
I
idea.
don't know. I mean, maybe we could help him. You know, he seemed to be struggling, and we do have some money. Maybe we could help him out in exchange for like a horse and a cart, or
Well, here was my other question. We had talked about going to the workshop Sequential was from his home before going to Emersham because it would
Mhm.
throw them off our scent. They wouldn't expect us to go there.
okay, we can
Um,
do that.
But what
But
direction
also-
is that compared to here? I thought that was further north and east.
Yeah, it is further north.
Here, so I am going to pull up the map. We
Yay.
can all
I'm
look
just
this
trying to find
together.
my copy. I don't know where I
Well,
put
yeah.
it.
So, if you all, you players, are in roll 20, I'm putting it up on the screen. So,
So we can
not
stop
everything
asking.
is labeled. Well, no, sometimes it just helps to have a visual representation, even for listeners too. So, right now you are approximately where this symbol is, which is a little bit south of Gorn. There is a railway and road that goes down to Pashan, and then a road that's not a lightning rail that goes down to Emersham. The Temple of Sitzlebek is like north of you, like up here on the other side of Gorn from here. You're going to Emersham down this way.
Okay.
Does that help?
So
And
The
where
Temple
would
of Sislabek is like on the way to Villanaka.
Yes.
yeah? And so the workshop is in the mountains. So would that be like due east?
Not quite, but it's like here. So it is somewhat north of Emersham. You would probably take the same road most of the way there, but then leave that road before you would get to Emersham.
If we're looking for a larger church, I would imagine Emerson is better.
Well, if you're
There
looking for a temple
odds.
of Rushama, I don't think Emersham or I'm trying to remember the name of the town that was there. It was Elamontia. Was that the name of the town that was there? Because there was Lake Elamon, but I was trying to remember the name of the town.
Well, so yeah, Elamantia kind of really just got absorbed by the spreading marshes that were once the lake. So there's really not much of a city to speak of, really, for Elamantia. I mean, there's people who live in that area, but it's not really a city the way it was before.
It looks like distance-wise, Sitzlebek's temple is definitely the closest thing to us.
Then let's go there.
And we're hoping to find someone to resurrect Trindano? What's his name?
Trend.
Trendale.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, and now that we know that who's in the spell gem, maybe we need to do a little more research before we resurrect anybody.
Yeah, Rapano.
Yeah, Rupino. That's what it was. I couldn't remember.
And technically, we are still carrying Zeld as well.
Yeah.
We have
Yeah.
a collection.
Not to mention Tanglefoot.
Tanglefoot.
Yeah.
And we've sort of run into Alistair, I suppose.
I
You know,
know.
Yep.
Probably should have grabbed one of his bones.
I thought we grabbed all of them and put him to rest.
Yeah, the temple in.
Oh, right. We
Bashan.
spoke to him.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We still should have grabbed one of his bones to bring with us, though. Of course, we didn't realize exactly
we were
how
going to
important.
resurrect him.
We got to catch them all. So
Yeah. You need a little pokeball to put him in.
And
Do you
then there's the
think-
mirror, which we don't know if
Reliquary.
there's anything trapped in there. I don't think there was. But it's hard
no,
to tell.
There was nothing trapped in
There was nothing presently trapped in there. Like, it was capable of trapping people, but it didn't have anyone in it when you found it.
We left that back in Pashan, right? Wait,
Yes,
Yeah.
in
Pretty big.
space.
Sorshana?
we didn't have a way to.
It wouldn't fit in the bag.
Are you sure?
bag-
People
the
fit
bag-
in there.
The bag wouldn't stretch enough to fit over it. I
The
measured it.
mirror is pretty big. Like, I mean, it's a big piece of furniture of a mirror. It's not like a hand mirror.
Maybe when we get back to Bashan, we could bring it in the tower and push it up the stairs and shrink it down through the door.
It
So we
might have extra dimensional properties. There's some interactions, although we haven't seen too many recently, thankfully. That one in particular, I don't know enough about, but
To
it
shrink
would be
it?
possible. Well,
Like we could just shrink it so that we could keep it with us.
the
That's what I mean.
tower is, well, it may or may not be an extra dimensional space. It doesn't seem like it so far, but there are still a lot of angles of this magic that I don't understand,
Hmm.
partially because it hasn't been around for thousands of years. But I'm catching up.
Yeah, it's a shame we don't have a library.
I know.
Yeah, I'm thinking we should resurrect this guy.
Wait a
Go to
minute.
the Temple of Sislabek.
Well,
Is there a library in Villanocta?
Oh, there's a huge library in Villanocta.
Then there's probably a temple there. What if we go to Villanocta?
That's very far, though. It's much further.
really do have to find-
about the same distance as Emersham.
we really do have to find a better way to travel. I kind of missed the book ship, but it was probably safer for him to leave.
Yeah, safer to not be around us.
Maybe there'll be airships at that temple. I don't know.
Well, there were
Maybe.
airships at
Never
Gorn.
been
There
there,
might be
so
another
I'm
one
not
we could
sure.
we could rent or book passage on.
Oh, well, no. What do you think we should check in on our friend Evan before we go?
Mm,
What if they got to Evan?
well,
There's
I
not
don't
much-
think I don't think contacting him and is like he said we left town, so if we contact him again,
Well, no, I mean, if you send him a message,
I mean I could.
maybe he could get an airship for us. I don't know.
It's
It's
the
just,
same Evan that I met, right?
well, yeah. He liked us a lot, and we made him feel super part of the team. So if we told him that this was for the good of tearing down the Emperor's best friend, he would probably be right on top of that. Unless they got to him and murdered him, which now I'm super concerned about.
It seems really dishonest to keep lying to him about that.
But it is true.
I'll check on him. I can only send short messages after all. but,
Right. I know.
I can check on him and see how he's doing.
I imagine he'd probably be all in for a secret mission.
We need a secret mission for you. Get us an airship.
Or even just a cart and a horse.
Yes.
Yeah, I really think we ought to stay out of town, though. I don't think we should. Go
Well, no,
anywhere
I mean,
near
we could
there.
have him take it somewhere and we could
Oh,
go and get it.
The reason we didn't go into town was because we couldn't take Buster in safely. Now that Buster is guinea pig size, we can just like zip into. We can have him scout what airships are going in the direction that we want to go, and then we can just go and book passage on one ourselves.
Do you think it's
Well-
wise to take an airship knowing that the
They're looking
enemies
for
are
us.
using airships? I mean, I don't know a lot about airships except for that one that we were on, the book ship, but I have a feeling that getting into a battle on an airship would be really scary.
We'd want to make
Yeah.
sure that we're traveling as inconspicuously as possible.
Yeah.
Also, we
So-
were trying to go into town and we were attacked. I mean, not all of us.
So-
And that is one thing that's sort of pressing on my mind, that they are
I ha-
still probably out there.
Yeah, I will have two thoughts. So first, I agree that we should probably find another method of travel than just walking, but we don't necessarily need like five horses. We really just need one to carry one person, or two if you want to be safe and just travel in pairs. And then that person can just carry everyone else in their pocket. I have pocket protectors.
It's very true.
I mean,
Um,
I've considered doing the same with the bag for a while. The tower is just a lot more convenient.
Mm. So my second thought is this scale and the scale of neocortex that Saline gifted me. It does have one ability that might help us to see if those people are still out there. One of the things is called the real. The user sees the real reality. It can tell what is an illusion, and it sees the invisible creatures and creatures hidden or disguised by magic. Magical darkness does not affect it, and it can see into the ethereal plane. So
True sight.
that
That's
lasts
very
for 10 minutes.
effective.
And you do that once per day.
So
Well, we're definitely going to have to remember that because there's going to be a lot of people trying to find us.
So on that note, just as a reminder for everyone's visual reference, having attuned to the scale of neocortex, Lynn's eyes have a subtle purple glow to them. It's not like they're just solid, blue, purple fire, but they do glow a little bit, and there's just a tint of purple to them all the time, but especially in a darker area, it's obviously that they glow a bit as well.
That's a neat effect. You might need to wear glasses or something.
I suppose I can't cover that up. It's weird not being able to change that. Change everything else.
That's a part of your core being now, I suppose.
I don't think I like it. But
I think you do. I mean,
So-
we literally saw your eyes light up when you saw that scale, and now, well, they're still lit up.
All right, how about we pick a course and stick to it?
Okay. So I can use the scale to like poke my head out the door and see if I see anybody, anything that's invisible. So I would know if like somebody was out there to, ambush us as soon as we walk out the door.
Okay.
Or
And where
rather,
are we going to
ambush
go?
Nedry as soon as he walks out the door.
Where are we going to go?
The Temple of Sitsilek, is that what we decided?
Yeah, but are we going to just walk there, or are we going to try and...
Well,
Fine.
Nedry's going to be
Better
flying
trans-
for an hour that you fly for?
10
How long
minutes
is
at a
it?
time.
10 minutes at a time.
It's also should be worth noting right now that it is very early in the morning currently outside.
So, but 10 minutes should get us north of town, right? Flying? As the bird flies? maybe? I
Well,
don't know.
the fly speed for, not far north of town, but yeah, you can get sort of just past the town from where you are, with
Well-
the full 10 minutes of flying.
What if we asked Evan to meet us north of town with a horse?
I wish I knew some geography. Maybe Evan will know a place that he can tell us to meet him.
Yeah. Well, also, like, he's going to have to pay for the horse, and he doesn't strike me as someone who actually has money.
I mean, we can pay him back, but that's if he has good credit, I suppose. Maybe you should just check with him first and see what's available.
Like I said, I can only do like short messages, and starting off with, "Hey, just wanted to make sure you're still alive. Oh, can you get us a horse?" That just seems kind of rude.
I don't know if you need the first part. After all, if he can't reply, then he's not alive.
I agree with Nedry. Maybe just ask him if he's up for up for helping us out.
Yeah, that seems reasonable.
Maybe a little
Logical.
more direct. Just give him instructions.
Okay. All right. Okay, so I'm going to use sending
Okay.
to Evan. It'll say, is there like a road that goes north out of town?
I mean, yes. Yeah.
It's like one main road that
Right.
goes
Yeah.
up
There's
and-
one big road that would go all the way to Villanocta, and there's multiple
Mm-hmm.
smaller roads that aren't necessarily shown on the map.
Okay. So I would tell him,
Mm-hmm.
Evan, your next mission is to meet one of us on the north side of town, just off the main road, with a horse.
In the cart.
I don't need a cart.
What you get back is, huh? What? Oh, hey, just a second. Oh, it's you. Oh, okay, I can do that. I did remind you that it was very early in the morning.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But
We've lost all
we'll-
concept of time in our portable
Oh,
cave.
by the way, roll a d20.
do it this way. Roll. 5.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. Just there's a chance that your sending doesn't go through.
Because we're in the tower, right?
Mm-hmm. All right. So,
All right.
yeah. So I think you did get a reply and a nominal agreement. Although it did seem like you woke him up and he was still only half awake.
Well, I got him, and he said okay, but he was kind of sleepy. So I think maybe we head that way and hide over there, I guess, somewhere, and wait and see if he shows up. That's the best that I got.
Why don't we just do what we were going to do and have Nedry invisibly fly with the rest of us in the tower?
Right, right. So Nedry will have to wait for him. And if he doesn't show up before the invisibility wears off, I'm going to have to ping him again.
Well, it will be wearing off because I can only fly for 10 minutes at a time. I'll have to recast the spell, and that will cancel your invisibility, I think. Unless you
Well-
want me to walk, but it's a long ways.
Yeah, invisibility lasts for an hour. You would just be meeting him north of town. So all you would have to do is just stay there. and be invisible. Don't let people
How
run
far
into
is
you.
how fast can you fly?
About twice as fast as you guys could go on foot. With the caveat that you don't have to follow the road, so you can go as the bird flies.
Yeah, she said he could just get to that part of town. So
Is that good for you, Nedry?
I can certainly try.
You get to carry us for once.
Well, only because you're going to be really small.
You're going to be bigger than us for once.
It's not something I'll be used to.
Well, try it on, see how it fits.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let me see if
you
I can
want
get
me to
prepared.
check outside first?
Yes.
Yes, please.
Because the tower has to shrink for a minute 1st, right?
Well, it
Um,
depends on what you want to do.
Well, like if Nedry goes out, it takes a minute for the tower to shrink, right? Isn't that what you said?
No.
No?
It's if you want to change the base level reality of the tower, it takes a minute to do that. So if you want the default size to be small, then that will take a minute to do, and it would also take a minute to change it back. But
So
If you want it to just be small while all of you are inside, that is an action.
Oh,
yeah.
But if you came out, you would pop back to regular size.
So when Nedry goes outside, he would be normal size.
Yeah.
Okay.
So should I go look for invisible people first?
and also if that magic mouth is still there, we'll
I'm-
have to do something about that.
Yeah.
Okay. Give
All
this
right,
a shot.
let's do it.
Pull out the crystal and
Mm-hmm.
take my action thingy, the reel.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So as Carolina concentrates on this scale, her eyes flash, now actually just totally glowing with solid purple fire. Even a little bit, it seems to spill out from her eyes just a little bit, you know, in that whole comic booky sort of way, right? But yes, as soon as you do that, Carolina, it just there feels like there's an extra sort of layer of you don't, it's not quite the same as when you do detect magic, but it's kind of almost there. You just sort of feel like you have an extra level of perception of everything that you're seeing around you, and that you can see through shadows as though there's nothing that obstructs your vision and all of that sort of thing. But in here, there's not a lot to see that you wouldn't have already seen.
But even if I look at everybody, do they all just look normal? Do I see anything unusual?
I mean, you don't see anyone currently disguised via illusion or anything of that nature.
Okay. Yeah, it says I can see into the ethereal plane too, so that's interesting.
Yeah.
So yeah. Okay. Let's go see if this works.
All right.
Or
Was the mouth still on the door?
Well, I don't know. You'll have to find out.
Oh, I thought she was gonna look because Nedry asked her to.
Okay, I'm
Yeah,
just
yeah,
saying.
I'll
that,
look,
like,
but like I haven't opened the door yet.
yeah, that's what I was going to
That way.
say. Is
Oh, I
that
thought she did another.
Zaylene will have to unlock the door for her,
Mhm.
for her to open it, which you hadn't said you were doing yet. And if you are now doing that and you are now opening the door, which you hadn't said, then I can continue the description.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah.
As
Yes.
soon as you do that, the mouth right there by the door says, "You are fools. With each step you wade deeper into the mire. If the dreams have not yet started, they will soon. Someday you will beg me to take this burden from you, and I will, but by then it will be too late to save you, and you will have left a trail of corruption across half of Sekamian."
Nedry tries to write all that down.
Can I see anything on the door?
Yeah, there's an actual little magical mouth right on it.
We really probably should get rid of that because that's super annoying.
Can
I
you
just wanted to
spell
get it
that?
written down first.
So I am going to look around.
Make a perception check.
Oh, 8. Ugh, what?
Yeah, it's a bunch of swamp.
Terrible.
In fact, it's the same bunch of swamp that you've seen several times already. I mean, I think it is somewhat interesting in the sense that you have a greater depth of perception, in the sense that where there are shadows and something would be in the dark because it's just shadowed from the sun and everything, you realize that even though you can certainly see where the shadows are, none of it obstructs what you can see of what's in those, hidden by those shadows. Like you are, you are aware of where there's light and darkness, but you can see all of it.
Is it still cloudy? Is it still raining?
It's overcast, but no longer raining. It is dark though, because its sun has not yet come up.
I wonder if I should go around back. I don't see anything.
Well, that's a good sign.
Or they're just
really-
hiding and I'm not. I don't know. I don't feel real confident in my ability to detect anything right now. I'm so tired.
Yeah. Did we talk about that we had nightmares? I don't know if we shared with each other.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
don't-
you did a little bit.
Yeah, that's right. Okay. Cool.
Yeah,
cool.
because I told you that I was there. I saw
You told us
all
that you
your
could see them all.
spoopy
Right,
dreams.
right. That's right. Just wanted to make sure. Okay.
Yep.
Mm.
Yeah. We had the idea that they may have some magical way of tracking us, so maybe they weren't too worried about sticking around
Yeah.
and or concocting some other way to catch us.
Yeah.
I'd really like to just sit down with whoever this is. They must know so much more. If they weren't trying
Or
to.
they're just like the other people, and they're like the ones that were at the bridge that night, just hired help. They might not know anything.
Well, they did seem to know quite a bit from this message.
He also tried to kill us with like demon fungus or something.
That is the downside. They don't seem to be
Yeah.
really ready to talk.
Yeah.
Maybe someday.
So I can't guarantee the coast is completely clear, but I didn't see anything. So, Nedry,
All
if
right.
you want to cast fly, I'll do the invisibility and we can get out of
Well,
here.
I've got a few steps to go before that, but we'll get going soon.
If he feels like he's got the message copied down sufficiently, he will cast a spell magic on the magic mouth.
All right. Yep. It
Be
vanishes.
gone. Didn't want that thing going off sometime when I was carrying this place. Could be rather distracting.
Yeah. The
All right.
magical mouth dissipates.
So, safety first.
He casts mage armor.
All right.
You see a blue glow form around him, the familiar but now stronger glow that usually accompanies his spell casting.
All right. I haven't tried this one before. I've been meaning to, but, well, I haven't had to keep up with all of you, so this should help.
And he casts Long Strider.
Okay. Is that concentration?
Nope. Lasts for an hour and increases your speed by 10 feet.
Interesting. Interesting. Hang on.
And it doesn't specify any of your forms of speed, so it should increase my
Yeah.
fly speed as well.
Yeah. I feel like if I was mean, I would. I could potentially argue against that, but I won't.
It increases his foot speed anyway, so if he has to run away, he'll have a better
Yeah.
chance of that too.
All right. Is everybody ready? I mean, it's not like most of you have to do all that much. I don't know if the interior of the tower is going to be affected by being turned around. So you might want to make sure, at least in the very beginning, that you're against something solid or have a handhold on something just in case. From the way the interior of the tower looks, it doesn't look as though things were tossed around very much, but the tower was upright when we found it too. Although it was inside a pig for a while.
Drinks the tower while Nedry's thinking.
And I will indeed cast
Okay.
Fly on myself.
All right.
So, before you go, should probably just in case. And she sings, "From kobolds to kings to villains and things, there are suckers among them all." So you have a bardic inspiration.
I'm not sure the
And-
relevance of the song, but I feel much better because of it.
It's a warning against the shell game. But yeah. So and then so you ready?
Let's go.
Okay. And I will cast invisibility on Nedry.
All right. So he was already kind of bobbing in the air as he had cast fly on himself, and now he vanishes from sight.
And I will fly out the door,
All
turn
right.
back, and telepathically speak to them if I can.
There is a moment of disorientation as you emerge from the tower, but you are restored at that point to your normal size. But you are emerging from the shrunken tower. There's a kind of a rush there that has you off balance for a moment that we don't need to deal with mechanically. but you are just briefly dizzy at the change, and then you bend over and pick it up.
Well, first there's a telepathic message that probably starts with,
Oh, I wonder if we had the tower upside down, if you would emerge upside right, or whether you'd be turned in midair. Oh, sorry. Everything looks okay from here.
So
and then he'll pick it up.
are you like saying that through the open doorway or?
It's telepathy, so it's basically line of sight.
Okay.
So if the doorway's still open, he could try it that way.
All right.
It may not work. He doesn't know.
Well, I think that if the door was closed, they would not hear you. But if you were holding the door open, then that's fine.
Well, he would. The door would be open until he got out, and the message is basically to let them know to close the door.
Okay. Yes.
Sorry.
All right. So what I'm saying is, it's dependent on whether everyone else had left the door open or not. That's what I'm saying. So,
Right. Well, with him invisible and flying, they can't tell if he's outside. So that's his intention, is to let them know I'm the outside.
All right.
Okay,
Everything
it's-
seems to be working.
all right.
Go ahead and
Like
close
the
the door.
door is
Let's
shut.
go.
All right. The door is shut. You guys inside the tower have no idea what's happening outside. There is no sense of movement at all. Nothing seems to change at all. Nedry,
Let's go see if the food replenished.
you pick up the tower.
Yes.
And what are you doing with it?
I have a couple of pouches and small bags on my belt, so I'll put it in one of those. Hopefully it's hidden because it's part of me, but
He'll be keeping an eye out for that too.
Okay. So now what?
take to the air and
Okay.
start moving as fast as I can.
What height are you flying at? Bearing in mind, it is dark. And so if, I imagine as a gnome you have dark vision, but if you are more than 60 feet above the ground, you will not see the ground.
I think probably keeping to just about 60 feet, so he's above the tree line,
Okay.
or for the most part.
All right. Yeah, you certainly see the canopy. It's still pretty dark because it's overcast, so there's not really a lot of moon. Once you're above the trees, you can see a few lights of fires burning or magical lights over in Gorn in the distance. And that's certainly useful for orienting yourself. But
There's a moment where he wants to pull out his book and take notes and realizes he couldn't see it anyway.
But nonetheless, the fact that those lights are there is the only reason you're not getting disadvantage on the survival check that you need to roll now to find your way flying in an unfamiliar place in the dark.
Fair. This is where I almost took another feat that would have been fine, but it was almost. That's a 6.
Okay. Yeah.
I will use the D8,
Okay.
the inspiration.
Sure. Seems like a good idea to me.
That's an additional 4, so 12.
Okay. Didn't you say 6 to start? Or did I mishear
Sorry.
you?
Yeah, no, I was adding 8 for some reason. Yes, no, you're right. 10. Sorry.
Okay. All right.
Brain.
Yeah, so I think that you're finding it more difficult than you expected. But what that basically just means is that you find that you have to, in order to find the roads at all, you have to go closer into town than you would have preferred to, which eats up some of the distance that you can travel. So you're going to start running out of your 10 minutes. I think also I'm going to ask for an intelligence check to see how well you are tracking that 10 minutes.
Okay. Just straight up intelligence.
Yeah. I'll let you do
Wow,
Arcana.
that's a 10. Oh, okay. Then that's an 18. Sorry, not quite 18. That's
I mean, it's
fine,
going to
so
be plus
it'd be
3,
13.
right? Yeah.
a 13.
Yeah. I think that you have a pretty good idea. You know, you don't have it down to the last second, so you might want to, like, you're saying, like, okay, I have 30 seconds, might want to start getting closer to the ground, that sort of thing.
Actually, it's going to try to land in a tree.
Okay. Okay. So I think that you are not as far north of town as you would have probably liked. But that's just because you had to go further in order to make sure you were following the road that goes to the north. And then you've made your way a little bit in that direction before you determine it's probably best to go ahead and come in for a landing. And you find a tree that can support a gnome's weight. Roll just a d20 for me.
Okay. 18.
You're pretty lucky. You find a good tree that has enough branches that you can kind of comfortably find a little spot to sit on, and that you are, there's not, like, you can see, but it would be hard for anyone to see you from the ground, even if you weren't invisible.
I really have to take up lessons with Zinhorn to figure out how all this is supposed to work.
And once again, cast fly.
Okay, so you are no longer invisible. Your invisibility drops when you cast a spell.
Yep.
And it is easier now to follow the road now that you're there. So how much further are you going?
We didn't establish a particular space, did we? Okay. Kind of keeping to the side if there's still some trees to get a little cover, and then try to spot along the road to see if there's a any kind of landmark or Evan for that matter. Probably not Evan. He's not that fast.
Go ahead and make another survival check for me.
Okay.
By the way, if you didn't have dark vision,
4.
this would be going really poorly for you right now. 4 certainly
It's
doesn't help.
still
but,
going pretty badly.
Yeah. You would definitely be having disadvantage though if that weren't the case. So with a 4, I think you're just finding that the road has trees cleared kind of well away from the road in both directions at this point, and it's hard to stay close to it and at all near the trees. And I think you're just getting you're losing a sense of like, how far is this? How far would it be to, like, if you were on foot, like how long would it take to get here if you were riding a horse? And you're just kind of all turned around, and you're realizing that there's just really not any good place to get down by the road where it wouldn't just be obvious and in the open to anyone traveling on the road.
Okay. Well, I'm going to have to stay back then.
So he'll stay back in the trees on the edge, and then
Okay.
when the time is up, he'll just sit there. And he's
Sure.
not going to cast fly again. He's going to sit and watch the road
All right.
and hide, I guess, as best as he can.
Okay. Go ahead and make a stealth check to see how best you can hide.
That's not great. That's 10. That's better than a 4.
All right. So, it is kind of cold and damp outside. Not actively raining right now, but the ground is muddy, and there's not anything really to look at here. And you're probably something like 20 yards from the road. So, what are you doing?
Okay.
You're just hoping that Evan's going to come?
Pretty much. If perched up in the tree, he'd probably have his book out and start working on incantations.
I don't think you can read your book in the dark.
With dark vision?
Can you read just black and white? You can only see,
Okay.
like, dark vision. Well, okay. Darkness gives you shades of gray, which, I don't know.
That's
think-
okay.
Yeah. I think it's hard to read it, and I will ask you to, oh, you know what? It's fine. You're the sort that would make do. I've seen dark vision interpreted as essentially kind of like almost like bat sonar. Like you can see shapes of things, but you would not be able to see writing on a wall, for example.
Yep. If that's not possible, that's fine. kind of work. He'll just work
Mhm.
with his wand, which has a little bit of a trace behind it,
Mhm.
and try to work out that way.
Okay.
Just killing
Um,
time, really.
Sure, sure. What about the rest of you? So Nedry um, went out, gave you the message, and you closed the door, and now what?
How much time has passed?
Well,
Yeah,
I mean,
I want to
I'm asking
definitely
you.
keep track of time.
I'm asking you what you're doing now that the door is
Yeah.
closed. And if the answer is just
Breakfast?
gonna sit and twiddle your thumbs and
No, I went upstairs to see if the food reappeared.
okay, yeah, it did not.
Damn it.
The food that
Be
is
right
there
back.
is preserved, but it does not automatically replenish.
Hmm.
So, does sound like you're all just sitting around.
Yeah,
Well,
and
yeah,
then
I was trying to figure out what I should, be researching, working on coming up kind of empty because I'm kind of like
Mm-hmm.
at a roadblock on most things. Like, I've identified something that I need, and
Right.
I'm assuming that's a roadblock
Mm-hmm.
until, right, that I can't just keep.
Yeah.
So I was looking at other things, and without really anything else to work on, if I think I'll go back to the cipher, the journal.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I think that makes sense for flavor, although the amount of time we're talking about right now is, not gonna,
Cool.
it's not like full
Yeah, that's what I
downtime
would
or
start
anything. Yeah.
doing. Yeah,
Okay. All right.
unless
Well,
anybody needs anything.
so the thing is,
Actually, so yeah, I would ask that to everybody in there. Unless anybody needs anything from me, I've got some studying to do. But I'm happy to help with any projects you have.
Mhm.
I'm just going to sit and stare at Trendenel's corpse
Okay.
because that's a very Zalian thing to do.
Sure.
Doggone.
Is there anything
Can't
that
help with
you're
that.
hoping to glean from this, or are you just sort of meditating?
I'm kind of meditating, but also thinking about how Zinhorn was able to draw his spirit out to speak to it, even though it's obviously gone.
Hmm.
Like how that works. I'm just trying to understand that.
Thinking about death and stuff.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm like Moaning Myrtle in the U-bend.
So I think as you're just sort of hanging out, it perhaps occurs to you that you really didn't figure into, like, you don't have as any part of your plan how long any of this might take. You're
Well, I was going to give it at the most an hour
Mhm.
because that's how long the invisibility would have lasted if you didn't cast anything else.
Mhm.
So, yeah, I would be keeping track of that time. And if Evan didn't show up or if I didn't hear anything in an hour,
Mhm.
I was going to send Evan another message.
Okay.
So I'm waiting for an hour to pass.
So Nedry, are you just going to be sitting by the, in the tree watching the road?
That seemed like the plan. Evan was going to meet us with the horse, I guess.
Well, in theory, yeah.
It's too early in the morning to have a very complicated plan.
So I think, yeah. I think here. Okay, I'm rolling something. Yeah. Okay. I think you're there by the road, Nedry, for almost half an hour. This is after your 20 minutes initially of flying. So it's been almost a full hour. When you do see a horse approaching, and there's no lantern or anything, so the horse is not going fast. But you do see what appears to be a horse and rider. I think you probably hear them first because it's otherwise pretty quiet.
Can I make out any familiar shape of Evan?
I mean, how would you? We're talking about like the distance that you can hear a horse coming. Like, I mean,
Oh, okay. Is it coming from Gorn or the other direction?
from Gorn.
Okay. Um, hmm. Okay. I think at this point he's just going to hide and wait
Okay.
until
Uh,
they get a bit, until they get in the sight range, basically.
Okay. Well, you are like only your dark vision is only barely enough to see to the road because you are far enough back and you stayed in the trees.
The sun hasn't been rising yet, so
No.
it's still dark. Okay.
No, it was like 2 a.m. when you messaged him.
Oh, okay. Oh, I thought it was morning. I'm sorry.
Well, it's because you guys went and started a long rest at like 3 in
Nope,
the
nope.
afternoon.
That's fine. I just didn't realize the timing. Sorry.
Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah, you were saying early, but
yeah, okay.
there's early and there's
Yeah.
early.
That's why he was in the middle. He was deep asleep, and
Yeah,
it's the middle of
totally
the night.
fair.
Yes, that's the
Yep, okay.
consequence of
I
when
thought-
you start a long rest in the middle of the afternoon.
Sorry. When it was early, I thought 6. That's why I was
Okay.
confused. So okay.
Yes. So let me
Nope,
be
all right.
clear. It is now somewhere close to 3 a.m.
Okay.
So yeah, I think the thing is, if you want to be back in the trees, you can barely see to the road. That's how far away
Okay.
the trees are from the road.
All right.
And so
if that's the case, then he'll have to move closer. Again, I had the wrong time, so I was thinking it would get lighter. Hmm. I guess he'll try to climb down. This could go very badly, but he'll try to climb down the tree then.
Okay, you're not recasting fly at this time. You're just
Not yet.
How high up in the tree were you?
I'm assuming trees are about 30 feet or so, so it's a fairly high climb.
Sure. So I guess go ahead and make an athletics check for me.
Let's see how this goes. Yeah, -1. That's a 13. That's better than I thought.
Okay. Yeah, I think you managed to. So how about this? I will give you the choice of whether you want to do it silently or whether you want to hurt yourself a little bit.
He would take the hit. He wants to be quiet. So,
Okay.
uh,
Yeah, you managed to when you accidentally drop the last 10 feet or so, you land in some thorn bushes and take 6 damage. We'll say that's
Okay.
three bludgeoning and 3 piercing from thorns, but you managed to land reasonably quietly.
okay. Thankfully it's deflected by the blue shield, but he kind of knows how close that was to being much worse. Okay, and now he'll try to sneak up closer to the road.
Okay. So the go ahead and make a stealth check, I guess. The horse, the rider
Ha.
is going slowly, but he is not stopping.
22.
22.
Natural 20.
Okay. Yeah. You are getting closer to the road. The rider is continuing along because he has not noticed anything. He's not been given any indication that he should stop.
Okay. Basically, he wants to try to get close enough to the road that he can see, and if he recognizes Evan, he'll do something
Okay.
at that point.
Quick double check here. I want to just try to remember for sure. Did the rest of you meet Evan, or was that just Zaleen and Lynn?
No, remember we recruited him and brought him back to the tower.
Yeah, he introduced us.
Yeah,
Okay. Right. Okay. Yeah.
because we thought he was a murderer.
Well, when he was introduced to Nedry, he was, this guy's
yes,
going to come
yes,
with us.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
I remember now. Okay. So, yeah. I mean, you get up close enough. It's him.
Okay. Well, if it's him, then he'll just step out on the road.
Okay.
Hey, Evan.
Ah!
Sorry.
Where did you come from?
Oh, it's just behind the tree over there. I thought it was better to be safe than sorry.
Okay, yeah, I guess. Gosh, well, here I was thinking I was going to fall back asleep, but I guess not now.
Sorry.
So, here's the horse. What's the mission?
That's great. We needed a horse.
It is stolen.
Oh, Evan, why did you steal a horse?
I didn't have a horse.
Well, maybe if you pay for it, it'll be okay. How much does a horse go for?
Here, hang on. There are rules for this. This is a nice horse. So I think, it's probably, this horse would be more than the average riding horse, I think. You know what? Hang on. This
Evan's
is
out there stealing for the enemies of the friends of the emperor.
yeah. Okay. A riding. A. He. Yeah. You. He says this horse would probably, like, if I had to pay for it, it probably would have been like 200 gold. I don't have that kind of money.
Wow, that's a really nice horse.
Well,
And
it's for the mission. I figured if you needed a horse, I wouldn't do to bring you a bad horse.
That's true. It's very appreciated.
And Nedry's kind of looking up at the horse.
Nice horse.
Make an animal handling check.
Yeah, that's going to go badly. It's always funny. 7.
Yeah, the horse snaps at your hand. Like it's not going to get you, but it tries.
It's spirited animal, isn't it? Maybe it doesn't like being woken up in the hour of the morning. All right. Let's see.
So where is
200
everybody
gold.
else? Like it was Carolina that sent me the message in my brain. I thought she'd be here.
Well, I'm meeting you. The rest are safe nearby.
Okay. So now what?
Well, now I got to figure out how much I need to give you for this horse, so you won't get in trouble. Okay. Well, I don't have any small coins, unfortunately.
What? I mean, you're just gonna send me back to town?
Well, you've done so much, but now you have to pay for the horse.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Okay.
Right. Okay. Let's see.
You get
Nope,
off the horse.
That's the no. Okay. Nope. That's the tower. This pocket.
And he reaches into a pocket. He's hoping that it has a different groove because it's hard to read in the dark.
Okay.
And he hands him 21 platinum.
Okay. He is kind of like looking at these coins. I think the coins like they're identifiable without having to see them clearly. Like they're different shapes and pressings and stuff.
There. That should cover the horse and a bit more for your trouble too.
Oh wow. Yeah. Yeah. Thanks. So I mean, I don't think it's just as simple as just giving them money. I mean, I don't think they would have wanted to sell the horse, but I
Well,
can
you
work
could
it
write
out,
a
I
nice-
guess.
Yeah, you could write a nice note for them, or just explain that someone bought the horse and they were in a hurry, so they talked to you because you happened to be there, or something like that. I don't know.
I'll be honest. I brought my whole go bag. I thought that I was being tapped for the mission here, but
Oh,
no,
know
you
how
know
to-
what? It's
you know how to-
fine. It's fine. You all are doing important stuff.
well,
I guess
you know how to handle horses, right?
yeah. I guess.
Okay. I guess we could pay them back later. If you give me 20 of the platinum back, the one will be your pay.
Wait. So You do want me to come?
Sure. You know how to do horses.
All right. So what now?
Now we should probably find a nice quiet place. Someplace with a little bit of space, but where we wouldn't be spotted. Probably off the road. Someplace to be safe.
He kind of looks up and down the long stretches of dark road with nobody else around.
Maybe away from the road if we can. I'm assuming you know this place better than any of us do. Is there a small clearing nearby or something?
Everything is dark right now. I cannot see a thing.
Oh, well, I can't.
I can
help
barely
you with-
see you.
Right. Sorry. I forget that people like yourself can't see in the dark. Well, if you could describe it, maybe I could lead us there. If you know where we are. No, that's not going to work.
Okay, I'm hand waving here that you guys figure this out, okay? Because right now I'm just saying I'm trying to poke at the fact that you guys had a terrible, terrible plan here, where you didn't work out any of the logistical details. You're just like, oh,
Just
a clearing,
plunk
I
the
guess,
tower down
in the middle of
And
this
yet-
swampy land.
And yet, it's working.
It's working. Yes.
So yeah,
yes.
well, basically at that point, then it's just lead them a little bit off the road, so we're not directly on the road.
Yeah. You're in knee deep mud.
It's all marsh around here. Yeah, right.
And it was just rained all day yesterday.
Okay.
Just plop the tower down in the middle of the road.
Actually, you'll spend a little bit of time to kind of make the land a little bit solider with mold earth,
All right.
and just kind of make a platform that's a little bit more solid than the marsh around it.
You get,
There, that should be a bit better.
You get
I
who's
guess you
not.
can't see it.
Yeah. Well, I can feel it with my feet. That's pretty cool.
Oh, good. All right. Maybe
He'll walk to the other side so that he's not standing right directly beside him.
don't be alarmed.
Ah.
There will be a tower.
And he just sort of shrugs, pulls it out of his pouch, and then puts it down on the ground, and then knocks on the door, the tiny little door.
All right. So you disappear into the tower
Oh,
because
Thought I could
Zaleen
just
has
knock.
used the key to keep it at this size.
oh. Hi, I'm back. I only meant to knock. I've got Evan waiting outside with a horse. We should probably get going. Hello?
And
Where
he'll use
are the rest of you? Like, you guys,
yeah.
help me out.
I'm in the
here.
deck
Probably
room.
Poke my head out of the
Workshop.
kitchen. Just like, did you say Evan was
He
coming?
kind of
with
thought
us?
that everybody would be right there for some reason, and since you're not, he'll start using message to send messages off in different directions, trying to catch them.
Mm-hmm.
And Thinhorn would be hanging out by the door playing with Buster,
Okay.
Mini Buster.
Sure.
Hamster Buster.
All right.
All right. Well, we've got the horse. So Evan knows how to do the horse. So I was thinking maybe we ride on up the road for a while to get some distance. I can stay outside.
Evan poofs into the room. He's like, "Whoa, that's
Oh,
really neat. Oh, cool.
Hey, Evan.
This is a real magic tower, huh?"
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty amazing, actually.
Yeah, so are you going to ride the horse with Evan, or is somebody else going to ride? I mean,
Well, somebody else could go outside. It doesn't necessarily have to be me. I'm not going to be invisible or flying.
Is anybody good with horses?
It should be somebody who can see in the
Evan
dark,
raises
though,
his
because
hand.
it's
I can see in the dark really good. I have superior dark vision.
good.
Ooh.
I
Evan
do
doesn't.
not.
Neither does the horse. So you'd be directing both of them.
Okay.
Do I have
Or Evan says, "I didn't know. I thought it was a secret meetings, but you could also just light a lantern."
I don't need a lantern.
Okay.
I have special glow balls that I can throw up.
You throw up glow balls?
Oh yeah, I throw them up.
Does that hurt?
Oh,
It's just magic.
yep.
I knew how to do lights, but I kind of forgot that.
All right.
Maybe
Yeah.
I'll remember tomorrow.
All right. I'm going out.
Okay. So here's the thing. We can
yeah,
belabor
no, you
the
have
ins
the
and
key.
outs of this. If the
Mhm.
plan is just you're going to ride north for a while, we'll just do that. We don't have
Mhm.
to. But
Okay.
yeah, if
Let's
you don't
ride
want
north for a
Evan to
while.
come along, he's coming along unless you tell him not to.
We
Wait a
worked so
minute.
hard to get him to stay
I
home.
know.
There's one other wrinkle. You still have the key, don't you, Zaleen?
Yeah.
So you really can't go out unless
I
you
can.
want everybody
She
else
can-
to come out with you.
She can leave the door
I can leave.
unlocked.
Oh, okay. I
And
wasn't
you'll
sure
be
how
in
Get
my
it
out
pocket.
worked.
anyway.
Yeah. You can get out and run around in my pocket.
Well, it
If you want.
depends
Weird.
if that's how you do it. But of course, they will not have any ability to return to normal size if you shrink the base level of reality of the tower. So
Wouldn't I just go outside and go back to normal size, or would the tower also
Okay,
go back to normal
so-
size?
you have a couple of options here, right? One is that you can have essentially the full size tower when it's normally proportioned to the size all of you normally are outside is like its default, right?
Mhm.
You can change the default, but if anything's inside it when you change the default, it changes their default too.
Okay.
Now, if you want, you can make the tower be small even while its default is still regular size. And if you do that, then when people come out, they will come out as their regular size.
Okay. Yeah. So don't come out into my pocket because I'm not going to shrink the default size.
And so
I thought
the
that's
point-
what we were doing.
Yeah. No, so the point is that if you wanted them to be able to hang out in your pocket, you would have to shrink the default size, which would mean that
Right. Take a minute. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah. So don't come out because you'll just be big and you'll be in my pocket and it'll make the horse go crazy. So don't come out.
Should we have a plan to like trade off at some point? Like how will we know if you're in trouble?
Oh,
What if
I'll let
something
you
happens?
know. I will let you know because I can just make the tower big again and I will knock on it. Like it only takes a second to put it down and make it big. As long as I'm not changing permanently for,
Are you sure?
yeah, it'll be okay.
Gonna look at everybody else. Any objections? Like
Evan will be with me.
I trust
Right?
her.
Evan?
He's just sitting there with a big smile on his face. I mean, sure, yeah.
Yeah. He's gonna ride side saddle and it'll be fine.
Well, I mean, I'll probably ride, with the one leg on each side. It's kind of
Okay.
dangerous otherwise.
Yeah,
But,
that's true. Yeah.
Well, I
that's okay.
didn't see anybody out there, so I don't know whether they knew we got away or not. But keep your eyes open.
I will.
mm,
If anything looks weird or fishy, I will stop and let you guys know. If I can. If I can't, then I mean the door's unlocked. It's not like you can't come out.
But we'll be tumbling out of your pocket rather largely.
No, you just explode my pocket. Like my pocket will rip off of my clothing, so it'll be okay.
Maybe we should
Is the
work with
horse-
some sort of chain to wear it around your neck so that it's not exploding pockets.
is the horse
Maybe.
big enough to carry the both of you?
It's a
Normal
very
size
fine
I don't know,
horse.
is it?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, it'll
Because
be
I
fine.
could make you smaller if you wanted, but
I don't want to be small. I like
well, I
this
mean,
size.
I could change all of you. The whole
I don't want the horse to
You don't
be
wanna-
small.
no,
And
I
it would
mean,
take
I
longer
mean,
to
you.
get-
It would be like a disguise.
I'm
I've been
okay.
thinking about some stuff and I figured something out, and I was just kind of interested to see if it worked.
Oh, now I'm intrigued. We could try a test.
But I don't look
but
like
only
me.
with her permission. Only with her permission. I would not make her do it.
If I don't look like me, then the mistress might not be able to find me.
Mm, I don't think that's how it works, but if you don't want to do
How
it, that's fine.
I don't. I'm scared. I'll be okay. Evan's got my back. This is a disaster.
I'm kind of sitting here thinking about like, okay,
If somebody spots you, you would look different.
okay, I'm going to give
Oh,
all
you
of
mean you wanted to change my appearance?
Yes, I have
Oh,
polymorph.
yeah, you can totally do that.
Okay.
I thought you were like shrinking everybody. I didn't know what you were doing.
Polymorph
I thought you were
actually
gonna use like
physically
polymorph on
It's
me.
not an illusion. So
Yeah, it's not an illusion. Like it would actually like change you. But like I said, not without your permission. I just thought, you know, it would be a good
Shouldn't you have been a
disguise.
horse?
Think about that. It only lasts for an hour. It only lasts for an hour.
Hmm.
I can't do it forever.
No,
It
I
would
don't
be
wanna
longer than I could
turned
fly.
into- I'm good. I won't be able to think right if I'm not.
I'm
me.
just finding it hilarious in retrospect that if all you wanted was a horse, you could have polymorphed one of yourselves into a horse
Uh-huh.
hours
But it
ago.
only lasts,
I think
but it
that's
only
new.
lasts for an hour.
Yeah,
it's-
but we could
it
go
was
for an
only
hour.
a level
take a
up is when I
break.
got it. So.
All right, I'm going out.
Okay, so here I'm going to offer all of you in the meta here the opportunity to say, let's just say this. We don't have to actually talk about all of the ins and outs and individual little logistics here of all of this, and just say this is what we're doing, and we'll just move on. Is that
Yep.
something that you would
Yep.
all
Mhm.
want? Okay, all right.
Yeah, and like the whole time we're riding, I'm talking to Evan about death. That's all.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Make a persuasion check.
You persuade him, and now he's dead.
16.
You find as you continue to talk about this stuff and you just talk about your perspective of the Mistress of the Dark and you know what she really stands for and all of the sort of thing, you find him getting really kind of quiet and thoughtful and listening carefully at all of this and then starts nodding along. He's like, yeah, you know, you're right. I think so too. Yeah, no, I never thought about it like that, but it totally makes sense. And you can go ahead and make an insight check if you like too.
I'm totally waiting for
Couldn't
the
find
reveal that Evan
insight.
is the total bad guy.
4.
Okay, yeah. You are delighted to realize that he just, like, he gets it. Seems like he gets it. He just, yeah. It's reassuring to have someone just really be on board with all of this Mistress of the Dark stuff you're talking about.
Yeah.
So, what is the plan for everyone? Is you're just going to ride north to the Temple of Sitzlbeck? That's the idea? This place that none of you have been before, but that's okay.
I'm just riding north because that is what she told me to do.
Okay. Yeah. So,
This is
okay.
such a great idea.
Right, yeah, I'm just saying. It's a very slapdash plan, is all. So, okay.
I think
You're going
Nedry's
to the-
perspective is just to get the hell out of the area because we were being
Sure.
hunted.
Yeah. I
And then after
also,
that, we can figure out what to do.
I also want to make sure too, while we're riding, if I can, I want to make sure when I first go out, I want to check before I leave on the horse to make sure that there was nobody else out there, that Evan wasn't followed.
You do not see
And-
anyone.
Okay, and I want to make periodic checks, like while I'm riding, to make sure that we're not being followed,
Okay.
if
All right.
possible.
So, what I'm just saying is that we can just fast forward to several hours down the road. The sun is up. You're traveling. You're just fine, and we don't have to make everything.
Yeah, I know. I was just noting that I wanted to be looking on the lookout.
Sure,
So if
sure.
it came up later, that I did
Yeah.
want to be on the lookout to make sure we weren't being followed.
Well, it turns out you weren't looking good enough, and you're followed, and all of you are captured, and you die in prison.
Drat.
Great.
The end.
Death. This
Yeah.
is what I've
Plots
been
fall, we
waiting
all
for.
die.
All right, let's roll new characters.
All right. So, in any case, for those of you who are staying in the tower, once again, it feels like nothing is happening. So, what are you doing?
I'm continuing to try and figure out how to train Buster.
Okay.
I am working on a new song.
Okay.
Nedry is trying to regather some of his magical energies and do a bit of his studies for the day.
All right.
Short rest, getting some spell slots back.
Okay, so gradually, as you're riding north, Zaleen, the sun comes up, and you realize somewhat belatedly, because you're not always who's on front on the horse here, like just for the mental picture of how you and Evan are riding this horse.
Me.
Okay, sure, yeah. So I think that you certainly, I think there's a point where when it's bright enough that you're several hours down the road and you happen to glance back, and at some point, Evan has eyeliner on now, and his hair is just flopping over his forehead a little bit more.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh,
My
he's
first
one of those-
convert.
He's one of those elves that change with the seasons, and you just turned him into winter.
Yes.
Eladrin.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's an Evandrin.
Yeah.
Evandrin, yeah. So, here's the thing. The Temple of Sitzlek is like a day away.
hmm
So,
After the sun starts to come up, I
Mhm.
will actually stop and put the tower down
Mhm.
and go inside and ask somebody else to take over because it's too much for me.
okay.
It's burning up my retinas.
Mm. It
Well,
does
that
get
could go.
pretty bright out there.
But when I come out of the tower, would definitely be Irinel, because he's met Irinel, so it wouldn't be
Okay.
a shock.
All right.
Are we just gonna make him ride the whole time?
So,
He doesn't get a break.
Well, I mean, how does he look? He probably looks really tired, right?
well, I mean,
did
right
wake him up
now
at 2.
he looks like he definitely could use a cup of coffee and a cigarette, and somehow his clothes, you didn't realize he had such dark colors, but it makes sense that he would have coming out at night, but he's definitely tosses his hairs. So
Our proselytizing compels you.
Well, this is certainly a look. I
Hi.
was wondering, perhaps you would want to go and take a nap in the tower. You had a very, very long night. I can take over. We're just going north.
yeah,
Yes. Follow the road.
I could just lay in the dark and think about how eventually all of us will be there in the dark alone. Except our spirits go into the afterlife in the upper planes somehow. I'm not sure how that works yet. I guess they could go down to the Shadowfell.
If I might make a small suggestion, perhaps spend just a bit more time with Zinhorn than Zaleen, just for balance.
Make a persuasion check.
28.
All right. He says, that's probably a good idea. It's important to have like a broad perspective on things. Yeah. Okay.
Balance
Yeah.
in all things, my friend.
Sure. So he goes in, and I think he heads right to you, Zinhorn, where you're playing with Buster, I guess. And just kind of sits down. It's like, whoa, look at that thing. Wait a minute. Is that the same one from... Wait a minute.
Yeah,
Why
that's
is it so
Buster.
small now?
Oh, it's a long story. How are you doing? You must be tired.
Well, I mean, I guess, but this is just so exciting. I've never been on such a like an important mission before. I'm just like full of adrenaline.
I can understand that.
So,
Did you bring your short sword with you?
I mean, he's got his whole pack. Yeah.
Okay. Have you had any practice, like learning how to use it?
I mean, kinda.
Kinda. What does kinda mean?
I mean, I've practiced using it, but I don't know what you mean because you said it like you think
Like,
that's
did you have a
specific.
teacher?
I mean, like like a special sword teacher? No.
Yeah. Okay. Um, Christiana, I mean, I can use all weapons. I'm assuming I can, like, go through some basic.
Where do you want to train Evan on using a short sword in this very small tower?
As soon as I see him start to take swords out, I'm like, shrink down, shrink down.
Oh, yeah. Let's walk upstairs. I'll show
All
you
right.
how things get small.
Okay.
And I'll wait for a method of the little doors so I can pick them up and take them to like a big table.
Okay.
Okay.
Did you want me to make any kind of like animal handling check to see if I could actually ride this horse?
Oh,
'Cause
yeah, definitely. Yes.
maybe I shouldn't have said anything.
No, you have to now. Go ahead and make that check.
Ooh, 20, not natural.
Well, there you go. So, the
Okay.
yeah, it's
I
this
got
is
this.
a well-trained, high-quality horse. Like, I don't know that you actually heard the part about it being stolen. But you're thinking, wow, this is a really good horse. Evan got a really good horse for us.
I may have forgotten to mention that. All I really said was I hired Ethan.
Yeah, so you're riding along. Zinhorn and Evan are practicing swords.
While we're practicing swords, I'm going to talk to him about Rushama and serving life and the joy of helping others and taking care of other people and just existing on a beautiful sunny day and being out and smelling the smells coming off the food stalls and all of the wonderful things that you can eat.
Yeah, go ahead and make a persuasion check for me.
$16.
I think as you're talking about Rushama, he's just, I really hadn't ever considered Rushama worship before, but I think there is something really comforting and like calming about just like its enormous like physical presence is just like stabilizing, right? And it just helps you to know that there's something so big and dependable that you can rely on, both just seeing it physically there, but also knowing that it's in your heart. Yeah.
From above them, really big and loud, I'm just going to be like, that's all great and good while you're alive, but think about what happens when you're dead.
Yeah, so I think collectively all of you are definitely getting the sense that gullible is the wrong word, but Evan is fairly easily
Like a leaf in the wind.
Yeah.
He's impressionable.
Yes.
Yes.
So in any case, you're riding north on the road. You're getting to know your new stray that you've brought in, and eventually Evan does tire himself out because he was up awakened in the middle of the night, and I think working hard on swords and and he's okay. Like, he is not like as skilled as you all, but he knows what to do. He knows how to use it. Like in an ordinary sort of way. He's not gonna cut his own hand off or anything.
Right. I wanted to make sure that he actually got some better pointers and to see if he actually knew what he was doing, or if he was more likely to hurt everyone around him.
No, no, like he is good in an ordinary way as opposed to an adventurer way.
I kind of thinking of him as our first henchman, and I want to make sure he's able to survive.
Yeah. So in any case, you're all traveling north. Eventually, he goes to sleep. So Zinhorn, while you are just waiting for time to pass, like, do you revisit the pipe? You don't have to. I'm just saying, right now you have a thing in your pocket that you
Yeah.
haven't. Yeah.
You know, we had this whole conversation about cursed magic items, and I'm thinking I'm going to wait until everyone's around me
Okay.
before I start playing with it.
Perfectly
So that-
reasonable. I'm
Yeah,
just
you
so
talk
saying.
that
about
if
it?
I start going rogue, they can all beat me unconscious.
Right.
Would you
yeah.
talk about being worried that it's cursed? Like, would you mention that you might be worried about it?
Yeah.
Okay.
We already had a conversation about cursed magic items.
Yeah, and then everyone else just went and attuned to their things anyway.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm totally cursed right now.
Oh,
I'm okay with it though.
that you was okay with this?
Yeah,
too, until
I'm not trying to press on that or anything. I'm just saying that, like, you had meant to do it before, and then you said
Yeah.
when there's more time, and now you are literally just sitting around finding
Sitting-
stuff to do because there's nothing going on. And I'm saying, was that a thing? No? All right.
Is there a way that we could tell if it's cursed?
No, not really.
No, that's the
No.
whole point of cursed objects.
Yeah.
Is it's
Well-
really hard.
I mean, you can try, and if you get cursed, I can break it.
Okay. So yeah,
I figured
well,
it out too, so there's more than one chance.
Yeah.
All right. Well, give me 1 sec. I'll be right back, and then we'll do this.
All right.
Okay.
So Carolina, you're out there riding along. This is something that you've done before in the sense of, like, you've traveled, right? But, you know, have you traveled by horse on old-fashioned road, or like, I want to know what's your emotional state as you're kind of out there all by yourself.
Well, I'm probably mentally revisiting everything I know about the Temple of Sitzlebek, probably rehearsing a little bit what I'm going to tell everybody. But yeah, really just kind of excited because I'm going somewhere famous from, you know, the story and you know, also, I mean, keeping an eye out and looking at stuff, but
Sure.
yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at
Okay. Okay.
in my head.
I was just thinking that probably if you've traveled, but I don't know if it was by horse before, because it might be something where, like, you know how to ride a horse, okay, but it's one thing to say, oh, isn't this kind of interesting and romantic, and then to just actually do that for several hours all by yourself.
Yeah, well, I mean, I did travel from, you know, where I grew up to Peshan, which was probably at least a day away, maybe two. But
Well, but was that
yeah.
by riding a horse on the road by yourself, or would that have been more like taking a train or riding on a
Well,
wagon
we-
for that matter?
yeah,
It's-
it probably would have been like a combo of like walking and hitching rides on wagons.
All right. Okay, so Zinhorn, you go and get the pipe.
Yeah, I'll make sure everyone's around, and I'll go and get the pipe
Okay.
and
Get my book out to take notes. This could be interesting.
and trying to think if I should take my armor off first or not.
I mean, you are allowed to, but up to you.
Yeah.
Are you afraid that your armor will get cursed?
No. I mean, like, if something happens and, like, I wind up fighting you guys, it'll be easier for you to subdue me if my armor is
Just
off.
give me your weapons, and I'll
Okay.
put them over there,
Okay.
out of reach.
All right. I give Zaleen my weapons.
Okay.
One, two, just another one,
They're
another
like
one over
super
here.
heavy. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I will pick up the pipe and start concentrating on it.
All right. It's kind of fun just that all of that and the actual experience of attuning to something is you sit and concentrate on it for an hour. But I think what happens though is that you do start focusing on it. You're looking at this pipe. You're kind of turning it over and over in your hands, and it has these almost impossibly intricate carvings to them, where it just seems like the closer you look at them, the more and more detail is revealed at a smaller and smaller scale, and you find yourself really sort of drawn to those carvings, and eventually the rest of you watch as Zinhorn suddenly seems to just vanish, zipping into the pipe, and it goes dunk, dunk, dunk onto the table, and he has disappeared.
Nedry flips a few pages, then makes a check mark. That was on my list, but it was very rare.
So do you think he's cursed?
We'll follow Zinhorn in a moment, but I want to know the reaction the rest of you have.
Well, it's entirely possible it works somewhat like the bag, I suppose, which is not exactly cursed, but it is dangerous if you're not already aware of it. I was only able to take over the bag because of the additional assistance of the cursed item. But it's also possibly booby trapped.
Yeah.
If it did belong to Rapano,
Uh,
then it might have been a safety mechanism.
Maybe. I wonder if he can hear us. I will pick it up and be like, Zinhorn!
So, Zinhorn, as you were focusing on these carvings, all of a sudden it felt as though you were falling forward into them and getting smaller and smaller as they enlarged around you. And then you find yourself like landing sort of on your hands and knees in an enormous, like it's a long tunnel with a lot of intersections, and it's open on top, and it feels like a maze created out of the carvings of this pipe. And you feel as though something has been pulled out of you. And if you look around behind you, you see a figure that it's short. It has strange, like, hoof-like feet, and it's weird, long, spiky black hair, and this just distorted, fantastical face. It feels very fey, and it has a long rope that looks like it seems to have been woven out of the thing's own hair, and it grimaces at you with this evil expression. And here's the thing. Intuitively, you realize this is the thing that gave you your nightmare last night. And it takes a step towards you.
Okay.
It's grinning. It's pulling its rope like it's preparing to come at you with it.
I am going to cast Spiritual Weapon.
As you start to try to cast the magic, it's just does not work.
Going to use my breath weapon.
You go ahead and you use your breath weapon, and go ahead and is it a saving throw that they make?
I believe so. Lightning breath weapon, dex saving throw of 13.
Okay. They do fail that, and so you can breathe with your breath weapon.
Okay. That's 11 points of damage.
Okay. It takes that damage, but it looks like it is very capable of continuing, and it lashes out at you with this rope that comes after you, and it looks like it's starting to try to wrap you up and tie you up. Please make your own dexterity saving throw.
Okay. 13.
You just barely avoid, are able to like shake this thing off of you before it wraps around your hands and feet. And you look ahead of you down this tunnel, and there's certainly a way you can run to get away from this thing, but it is continuing to advance towards you. It raises a big old club as well.
All right, I'm going up. I launch myself into the air, and I am flying away.
There is you find that you are unable to rise in elevation above the level of the walls. You seem to be trapped in a magical maze.
Okay.
But what you can do is attempt to find your way out through the maze as you run away from this thing.
Okay. I'm going to try and figure out where the exit is.
Okay, so that's going to be an intelligence check.
Okay. So, I rolled a 1.
Okay. Yeah, you are all of a sudden, you're really just all turned around. You can't find your way out. And then a rock suddenly hurled out of space. You look around and where's this? Take 7 bludgeoning damage as a rock, is hurled and you hits you in the head, and you look back, and this thing has caught up around the corner, and it's advancing closer, and you are feeling as it gets closer to you. Before you realized that the dream you had was a nightmare, those feelings of horror you are finding those feelings flooding your brain as this thing gets closer.
Okay. I want it to be further away.
Oh, well. You can continue running and trying to find your way out of the maze.
Well, I believe my metallic breath weapon will also push it back.
Mm-hmm.
20 feet.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to run.
All right. Okay, so you take off. Go ahead and make another intelligence check for me.
All right.
Azalien, do you think he regrets not having his weapons now?
I don't know. I mean, how long has he been in there? Does it seem like it's been
a 10? Yeah, you are certainly, this time you don't get quite so immediately disoriented. It hasn't caught up with you. You can hear it like grunting and cackling several turns back, and you know that it is continuing to pursue, but you haven't found your way out yet. Back outside the maze, what are the rest of you doing? For it's only been maybe a minute or two.
I know, but he completely disappeared. We watched him go inside, like he just
yes.
into it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm gonna touch the pipe.
Okay.
Wait.
And I'm gonna cast Remove Curse.
Okay. It does not seem to have any effect.
Flip a few pages, check another thing off.
Okay. Maybe this.
I'm going to try casting Dispel Magic at 4th level.
Okay. Yeah. Let's see. The 4th level does not work automatically, but you can make an intelligence check to try to, dispel the effect that it's currently having.
25. That's a nat 20.
Wow. Okay. Here's where I'm going to take us to the map. Because what happens is that Zinhorn does suddenly fly up out of the pipe, land on the table, And so let's see. On this map, Carolina is outside. The rest of you are, I'm assuming, are there around on the first floor there?
Mhm.
Okay. So Zinhorn suddenly flies out of the pipe. He's gonna. You can make a dexterity saving throw to avoid landing prone, Zinhorn.
Okay. Dexterity save.
Mm-hmm.
6.
Okay. You land prone on the floor as you fall out, but the thing is, the thing that was chasing you comes out with you. So the rest of you see as Zinhorn suddenly flies out of the pipe, so does this creature, which is, it's a small creature like halfling size, but its head is huge, has this thick, wiry black hair, big long beard, and kind of an evil grin and a pointy, unkempt mustache, sort of hoof-like legs, and it is suddenly looking around at all of you saying, I'll get you all. And we're going to roll initiative.
Mm.
Sort of a,
Hey, that worked. Uh-oh, that worked.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just riding my horse,
Yep, yep.
thinking
Mhm.
about stories
There we
and
go.
stuff.
I take time to document things. I rolled a 1. So a total of 3.
All right. Okay, so you don't all have your spots on the tracker, so
Yeah, I'm gonna
Oh, sorry, I didn't select
Try to-
mine first.
I can't. Oh,
okay.
there
There
it
we
is.
go.
Okay.
Cool.
I'm
Cool.
putting you all on there, but you are capable of doing that yourselves if you.
I was trying to remember how.
Yeah. All right. And so you right now, yes, Carolina, you are unaware of any of this happening. You can roll for initiative if you want to, just not be left out of that part of it. See, that's the thing. See, now I added you, and now there's some of you have doubles on there because, yeah. All right. So. Okay. All right. So this thing has. Where's my? I'm sorry. I'm scrolling around too much stuff. Okay. Here we go. Ah. 6. There we go. Okay. And then what is this guy? There we go. Okay. So, Zaleen, you are the first to be able to act.
Oh dear. I am going to. Ooh. I'm gonna Eldritch Blast it.
Okay. Go ahead and make your attack rolls.
Oh, that was the damage. Sorry. This thing does it. For some reason, it doesn't. That is frustrating. I'm just going to use the dice
Okay. I mean, it
roller.
looks like
It's not. It
All
was rolling the damage.
Well,
They did roll it, though.
So it did. You got a damage roll, but then you also got a regular roll that was an 8. Is in.
Oh, I thought it said 120 feet. Like it just. I thought they were both. Okay, yeah. So the first one was 8,
Okay. Yeah.
and
An
then
an 8 misses.
the second one
An 11.
is 11.
Yeah. Unfortunately, both of those Eldritch Blasts go wide as this nimble little creature ducks and weaves around your blasts. Okay, Zinhorn, you are prone, but this thing has followed you out.
Okay. I am going to cast Spiritual Guardians at 4th level.
Okay. And that creates an aura around you, yes?
That calls forth spirits to protect me. They flit around me at a distance of 15 feet. I can designate that they won't affect anyone else. other, like all of my friends will not be affected.
Right.
An affected creature's speed is halved in the area.
Mm-hmm.
And when the creature enters the area for the first time on a turn or starts its turn there, it must make a wisdom saving throw, or it will take 4d8 because
Right.
I'm casting it at 4th level.
Yes. All right.
So wisdom saving throw 14.
Okay. Well, on its turn, it will.
Yes.
Right. Perhaps you can mute yourself. We can hear voices in the background. Thank you. I can't type today. Ah, what the hell? Sorry, everyone. There we go. Okay, so you cast that spell, and suddenly what do these tiny little guardians look like?
They are like little angels floating around.
All right, very nice. So sequential.
Sequential. Let's see. Sequential's going to keep it simple and use Scorching Ray,
Mm-hmm.
causing 3 rays of fire to roll towards the target. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to do a roll to hit. First one's 25 to hit.
That'll hit.
Second one's a 23 to hit.
Wow,
Third
all
one's
of those hit.
20 to hit.
Nice work.
Wow.
Rock on.
Yeah.
Right. I've got my arcane damage, which I've been rolling manually because I don't really have a way to do it in there. 14. So that's 4 plus. That's 10. That's 15 plus 18.
Do each one separately, please. I just mean do each. Tell me each attack separately. Don't just totally.
Sure, yeah.
Thanks.
So the first one. Let me back up. All right, first one is 11 points of damage
All right.
total. Second one is 13.
Nice.
And the third one is a total of 9.
Okay. Yeah. So, sequential lets out these 3 fiery blasts that strike you all 3 and he knocks them for a loop, and you can see bits of his beard and hair kind of smoldering, but also letting off this really awful smelling greasy smoke. And he snarls at you. Okay, Carolina, it's really nice today. Like, sun is shining.
Okay, birds are tweeting.
Big fluffy cloud up
Chilling.
there that looks kind of like a 4-leaf clover.
Yep.
Yep.
No.
All right, it is this creature's turn now, and so now we'll make the wisdom saving throw for the spirit guardians. It
All right.
fails.
Yeah. And it will take 25 points of damage.
Nice.
Oof.
Okay, yeah, it does not like that. And so it uses this rope that seems to be made out of its hair. You realize that one end of it is actually like affixed to its hair, and it commands it, and it once again goes out to start trying to tangle you up. So please make another dexterity saving throw.
Okay. I got a 5.
Okay. You find that suddenly it has wrapped up around your arms and legs and tangled you up to the point that you are restrained. And at this point, it is now going to make, it pulls out its club and it's going to make 2 great club attacks against you with advantage. That's going to be a 22 to hit.
That's going to hit.
And then, yeah, okay. So I'm just realizing it has a property that I didn't realize in the, yeah. So that first one is going to be 8 bludgeoning damage.
Nedra uses reaction to extend his blue shield, absorbing those 8 damage.
All right. And then it hops down off of the table and comes at you again. And yeah, that's going to be another 22 to hit. And yeah, I guess it this floor wouldn't count as natural ground. This time, and that's going to be a 9, another 9 bludgeoning damage. Yeah. All right. And then it looks and snarls at the rest of you just to say, mind your own business and you won't get hurt. Nedry, it's your turn.
But I think my friends are my business.
So I take that 9.
Yeah, you do take that. I couldn't do anything about
Okay.
that. He's somewhat wary of it because Zaleen is closer. He'll step in, touch Zaleen lightly on the arm, and cast Protection from Evil and Good. So it has effects against aberrations, celestials, elementals, fae, fiends, and undead. It may not have any effect in this case. I don't know. It's mostly against charm, frightening, and possession, but we'll see. But they do have disadvantage if they are one of those types to attack her. I will, with the other hand, slap down on Protective Verses and point that hand at Zinhorn. And the blue light extends over him,
Okay.
granting him 11 temporary hit points.
Nice.
And then with that, he'll retreat to try to observe, but kind of actually, I want to make sure I understand the geography correctly here. Is this the stairs on this level going down?
No, you are on the first floor. You would have to go out through this door and go up the stairs. It's just meant to show you that that's where the wall is.
Okay.
You
okay.
cannot access
case-
those stairs from this room. You'd have to go out through the door on the south wall of this room and then up the stairs and around.
In that case, he would have worked his way around. So 5 to there, and then here, and then here. So basically, he's standing in front of the door.
Okay.
That's it.
All right. Zaleen,
What about Buster?
I don't worry about Buster. I'll worry about Buster. You don't worry about Buster.
As a bonus action, I'm going to cast Hexblade's Curse on that creature, and then I am going to. I'm gonna. I'm gonna cast Crown of Madness on it.
Okay. So that is an unusual spell, but because it's your spell, I think you would. So basically, the only thing that Crown of Madness would allow you to make it do with this is to attack something that is nearby it.
Oh,
So
okay.
Crown of Madness is really not super useful against a single enemy.
Right. I'm gonna I'm going to cast Cause Fear on it.
Okay. So that is going to be. Okay, yeah. So what's its saving throw?
It says 14.
Okay,
Oh.
but which
Yeah.
stat?
Yep. It's 14.
But which stat?
Wisdom.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, Wisdom.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Sorry.
That's okay. I just if you said it I didn't hear it. So okay, so it definitely fails that. So it is definitely suddenly looking at you with terror.
Okay.
Okay. Zinhorn, you are tied up by this thing's weird, awful hair rope.
I'm gonna try to break free.
You may do that with either athletics or acrobatics.
Athletics. I got an 11.
Okay, you are unfortunately not able to wriggle yourself free at this time. That was your action.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm prone.
Yeah, well, you have no movement speed because you're restrained. But if you had a
Right, but
bonus,
I can use my breath weapon as a. No, I can't use it as a bonus action. Okay, that was my action.
okay,
So
no problem. Sequential.
I think the situation calls for some fairy firing. Explode some fairy magic all over this room. Well,
Okay.
on him.
Well, I think you have to pick a whole area. I don't think you can choose
Right.
to.
Right.
Like you can't choose your targets.
20-foot cube.
So basically, your 20-foot cube is gonna. I'm not sure. Like I think that the only 20-foot cube that could include that wouldn't include all of you only would exclude Nedry.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Is that
Okay.
the tight
Yeah, I'd
quarters make
rather
some of
not.
that tricky.
I would rather not get all of us.
You just explode a glitter bomb and it gets you in the face. It's like the ultimate justice.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and try. My my cause fear, then,
Okay.
and force him to do a saving throw, which is Wisdom 15.
Okay. So he is already frightened of Zaleen.
Right, and I guess
So you can make him frightened of you also, which would mean even if he shakes off hers, she would still be
saves one,
afraid,
he'd still be
theoretically.
covered,
Yeah.
but it wouldn't stack, huh? It's not like
I mean,
Well,
being
he's just
we
frightened.
can't
I
have-
mean, yeah. He can be
well,
scared
frightened
of
gives
both
like
of us.
disadvantage on stuff, right?
yeah,
But you can only have a single disadvantage, right?
that's right.
That makes sense,
It's just more afraid of more things.
right?
It's even a really bad day.
Yeah. Now this whole thing, I'm trying to do like the optimal thing, and there's no optimal thing. But what's reliable is Firebolt, because it's
Yeah,
18 to hit.
that hits.
All right. This one will be 9 plus 4, 13 points.
Nice. This thing is
Wow.
definitely looking a little wobbly, and he's very scorched. Does not look like he's enjoying that. Carolina, it's a cool breeze blowing on you. It's very just pleasant.
Yeah, I'm enjoying the ride. It's very nice.
Zinhorn, you do feel at this point a pinch on your fingers from little tiny teeth as Buster is attempting to bite off this hair that's restraining you. And he manages to get it loose enough that you are no longer considered restrained.
Yeah.
It is this guy's turn though now, so he's still going to have to make another saving throw for the spirit guardians, correct?
Yeah, that is correct.
Wow, this die rolls bad. So yeah, he fails that again.
All right. And 7 points of damage.
Whew. It
Almost
okay. It did
nothing.
25 the first time and 7 the second time.
Yeah, I rolled 2 1s.
Wow.
4d8, and I rolled 2 1s.
Yeah, 2 1s and a 2 and a 3. Wow, that's
Yes.
bizarre. Okay,
Almost minimum damage.
I thought for sure that you're going to finish him off with that, but no,
Well, I still have my action.
it's true. But it's his
Yeah.
turn.
Oh, okay.
You'll have your action on your turn.
Darn it.
Yeah. So he is, I think, yeah, he's gonna use his bonus action to try to wrap you up again. So please do make another dexterity saving throw.
A 1.
Ah,
This,
yeah.
I'm going to break out some physical dice because I am. This
Well,
machine
hey,
is rolling
the
awful.
physical D20 that I've been using for this guy is not working very well for him. So, but
right back.
once you are once again restrained, unfortunately, the hair tightens around you once more, and he is going to, you know what?
Give a smackdown on me.
He has a fun thing that he could do in another circumstance, but it doesn't make sense for him to do it now, so he won't. Instead, he's just going to hit you again with this club. Yeah, that's a 21 to hit. And doing, that's better. 12 bludgeoning damage for that first one.
And the blue shield arcs over, taking 9 of that.
All right. And then second attack. Wow. Okay. 14 to hit. So I guess that one is deflected by your armor.
That is correct.
Yeah. So
I hate to mention it, but you're using Spirit Guardians.
Mhm.
That is a concentration spell.
Oh, yeah, you do. If you just deflected the blow, though, he wouldn't have.
You still took 3 points of damage on that one.
Okay.
It's not much, but
Okay. So I do need a Constitution saving throw then, Zinhorn.
Okay. Should have gotten the physical die. 6.
Oh no! Yeah. So that means that the
Sorry.
Spirit Guardians does drop. No, I appreciate it, Mark. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. So it is this thing's turn, and it looks like it is starting to almost kind of disintegrate. Like bits of its skin are sort of flaking away, but it's still sort of leering down at you after hitting you with the club, Zinhorn, and saying, "You'll never be free of me, not really." That makes it Nedry's turn.
I think in his mind he'll speak to it and just sort of ask, "Who or what are you anyway?" He's just genuinely curious.
Okay.
I don't know if he gets a response or not, but he's also tracing out something people haven't seen him do before. It's a 6-pointed star with little extra sprinkles on the end, and I'll cast Ray of Frost.
Uh-huh.
And that's a spell attack roll.
Mhm.
14 to hit. Not
Okay.
great.
Unfortunately, no. That kind of goes through his like bushy, spiky hair.
Okay.
And it breaks off a couple of the like strands of his hair that kind of tinkle to the ground, but he doesn't really look hurt by it.
Still working on the aim on that one. Sorry.
Yeah, no problem. Go ahead and make an insight check though, as you're trying to reach out to this thing telepathically. Whoa!
Nat
Look at that,
20.
natural 20. You get the impression that it is like not that it wasn't kind of obvious that it was doing this, but you see that it really does not care about any of the rest of you. You are only of interest at all in the sense that you're trying to stop him from attacking Zinhorn. Beyond that, he does not have any feeling towards you one way or another. All right. Zaleen, it is your turn.
I'm going to cast Toll the Dead.
Okay. That's a wisdom
So he
saving
has
throw?
to make a wisdom 14. Yep.
All right. Nope. He fails.
Okay, so because he's already taken damage, it's
Mhm.
2d12.
Yeah. So as this
So-
bell sound resonates, you can see him vibrating, and more of him just kind of keeps flaking away and flaking away until this whole physical body of him seems to just collapse into dust. But there is an energy that, now that the body is sort of tied away from it, seems to be like insubstantial, but it drifts immediately towards Zinhorn and basically like envelops him. Like, even if he holds up his hands to stop it, it just goes right through his hands, and it seems to go into his head and then stop.
Okay.
And
Are
so,
we still in initiative then?
no.
Okay, I'm going to touch Zinhorn and cast Remove Curse.
Okay. It does not seem to have any effect. This effect is not a curse, is what your spell is telling
Okay.
you. In fact,
Okay.
you know what? I think I'm not even going to make you use the spell slot.
Okay.
Like, I think as you're getting ready to cast it, you sort of are feeling like, no, the spell's just not grabbing anything.
It seems very intent on you. Did you make it angry by any chance, Zinhorn?
It's the thing that was causing my nightmares.
That's weird.
Maybe you should break attunement from it.
Well, it was already causing nightmares before you attuned to it.
No. So on
Yeah,
that
you attuned to
note,
it?
Zinhorn, you realize you are not attuned to the pipe.
Yeah.
But it's also true that Nedry dispelled it, perhaps before something might have happened.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Must be
Maybe we
some sort
should-
of leftover energy from the original, whatever they were, that invaded the nightmare creatures that were mentioned in the book.
Well, there was I was in some kind of a spell maze trying
Oh.
to get out and fighting this thing, and I didn't have my magic and I didn't have my weapons. At least I had my armor.
Sorry.
No. What we did was the right thing to do.
But is the thing still there, though? I mean, it looked like it went inside you.
I think it is inside me, and I don't know what we can do to get it out.
Well, wait a minute. What if it was always inside you, and going in there just let it kind of be itself separate for a while?
Yeah, I think that's kind of what happened.
Maybe
That's,
if we let him go in the bag, he'll go in one of the cells, and that has that anti-magic field, and it would separate from him.
well, I'm actually wondering, this pipe might be more powerful than we imagined. We were thinking it was just presenting memories as kind of neat things, but what if it can actually also pull out nightmares and would be actually the tool? Instead of this pipe being the dangerous thing, it might actually be a tool to separate these nightmares from people.
Oh wow!
Just have to figure out how to use it properly.
Well,
And
I mean,
there's got to be
maybe
a lot of tests.
Mhm.
maybe now that it's out, like it. I mean, I'll be curious when we go to sleep to see if Zinhorn has another nightmare.
I
think
think
maybe
it's
it's
a pretty
it
good
came
chance.
Back inside me, I think I will get another nightmare.
Yeah, it looked like you were absorbed.
But I think like I might need to get out of the maze on my own, or I might need to kill it in the maze. I was able to hit it with my breath weapon, but it didn't seem to do a lot of damage. and
Well-
I didn't have access to my magic.
Imagine this.
Mm.
If this is another creation by one of those original crew that were creating all sorts of devices and things to trap the nightmares and the dangerous things, maybe that's what they modified this to be, is actually a maze to keep those things in. And if it can't use magic, just like the anti-magic field within the bag or even within the mirror, these could be the tools they were using. I was always thinking they were sort of weapons, but they were a lot more clever than that. And they would have been able to have these subtly around rather than having to carry around big weapons. They just look innocuous. The problem being, of course, is that this is all tied to some sort of spiritual or extraplanar corruption. And that's something I haven't been able to detect or really remove all that well yet. I suspect that the people like Talitha or Trendanel or Rapano did have methods to do that, but they may have also been lost.
Well, maybe
These-
you should write down some of those thoughts, and the next time Zinhorn is able to cast Speak with Dead, we can ask Trendanel some of this stuff, unless we resurrect him first, which I'm still kind of on the fence about.
Well, the problem being is if they set themselves against the corruption, and we've already been deep in it, he might not take kindly to us having gotten ourselves in the mud, so to speak.
Well, we're in it now. What are you going to do?
Hmm.
You can't just
Learn.
walk away.
You shovel it.
Oh, there's a lot more to learn. I want to get to Emersham even more now. And every library I can find.
Someday we'll see a library, Nedry. Someday.
Well, I'll probably have written one by then.
We did have the book ship. We'll always have the book ship.
It was nice.
So I'm just laughing to myself, realizing that how difficult it would be for you to just try to let Carolina know what's happening, because if you come out, you just explode out of her pocket
I can
Yeah,
send
don't
her a
do that.
message.
while she's riding a horse.
Well, I mean, we're okay now, so we can just wait, I guess.
Yeah, there's
until
nothing to
she's
worry
done. Yeah, we're
Everything's fine here.
Yeah.
How are you?
I'm fine. This is fine.
Yeah. So
Scorch marks on the walls. What the heck?
Nedry, make an Arcana check with advantage.
Oh boy,
Yeah.
I have all the things for this. So even with advantage, it's still only a 14. Those are terrible rolls.
Yeah, I think that some of what you were saying seems like it might line up with the strange magical stuff that your identify spell didn't work out. Like some of what Zinhorn described to you feels like you might be onto something there. It's hard to know for sure, but it does seem clear that whatever it is that the item was supposed to do, you interrupted the process by dispelling it. And it did bring Zinhorn out, but it stopped the thing from doing what it was trying to do.
It may be possible to actually attune to the pipe. Oh, that is another one of its properties, is it can bring out memories. It might be able to expel corruption. That would be a very interesting transformation of the magic. It's going to require a lot of study to figure out if that's actually going to work, though. But it might have been doing something. Maybe I'll... Do you want to study it, Zinhorn, or I could try?
We don't hear you, Paul.
I think you should study it, Nedry.
Okay. Well, sure.
And he pulls off a ring that he's had on his finger for quite
Okay.
some time.
All right.
Does anybody want to use this then? Because I won't be able to study the pipe and use the ring at the same time. It's a simple ring, just designed for a little bit of protection.
Mm.
And in game terms, it's a ring of force resistance.
Well, you can put the
I'm
ring
not
on.
there, so I can't speak up.
Well, we can keep it in the bag for now, or keep it somewhere safe anyway.
All right. So, are you going to try to attune to the pipe, Nedry?
I don't know if I want to do this right now. I've used a bit of magical energy. Actually, I'm not that bad off. If everybody's going to be around and ready, and we'll give Zinhorn back his weapons.
Why don't you let Carolina know what we're doing so that she can join us?
I suppose.
So he'll go to the front
Go
door.
places, man.
So we can open the front door without going out, though, right? Because we were able to peer out before.
Yeah, I suppose so.
Okay.
Well, it's
I
just
know, Luke,
like
what-
the problem is that that wasn't how I initially imagined the door working, but I can't think of a good reason why not.
Okay. Well, he'll very carefully pry open the door to see if he can see outside. Everything's going to be the wrong scale, which is hilarious.
Well, and if it's in a
And
pocket,
you're in a
you probably
pocket,
don't
right?
see anything.
So it's pitch
yeah,
black.
it's going to be even weirder. But if there's a pocket there, then there's a person behind it, and so he'll use telepathy to talk with Lynn.
Okay.
So we've had some interesting things going on in here. Everything okay out there?
Make a perception check, Carolina.
Currently being tied up and taken away.
Yeah,
Didn't notice.
we don't hear you.
You're
we don't
muted.
hear you, Starla.
I got it.
There it is.
That's a natural 20. It's a 26.
Nice, nice.
Jeez.
So, what I'll say is, you weren't sure for a while, but in the last 10 minutes or so, you are increasingly sure that although they are doing a good job of trying to stay within the cloud cover, you are definitely being followed by an airship.
Can I reply to Nedry's message?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Bit of bad news here as well, my friend. The airship that we spotted earlier, it seems to be following us.
Oh, that's interesting. I wonder. Oh, we may have figured something out through experimentation.
And he'll outline kind of the Zinhorn decided to attune to the pipe. He got trapped in it. A strange creature came out when we rescued Zinhorn. We defeated it, but it went in Zinhorn. So that's the Cole's Notes version.
Mm-hmm.
But he'll probably pepper it with a lot of theory that he has and probably go off track considerably. So Carolina probably has to interpret that, but she's used to Nedry at this point.
So, we're thinking that I might be able to study it a bit more and maybe gain the actual, well, hopeful use of the pipe. But if they're following us, maybe we should be more careful.
I believe that would be a very smart decision. Yes. I don't know
Okay.
how they are tracking me or us, but they're doing
Well,
it.
I have a theory about that. I haven't been able to substantiate any sort of quantifiable effect of the so-called corruption. But if they have some of the ancient knowledge of the Denetherian magic, they may have a device or a spell which can locate the corruption. So, ironically, we're being tracked by the thing that we can't even see. But since we all seem to
Maybe
be...
perhaps just an old-fashioned tracking spell. Who knows?
Oh, I suppose. Could be something like that. Something simple. Not complicated at all. Nah, it's probably something more complicated. There are ways to hide ourselves from a number of the magics to find us. I don't know any of them yet, but they're one of the... Well, they're in the top 10 of my research projects. How far are we from... Where are we?
Well, that's actually my next question. How long have I been riding? I mean, it was long
I
enough for them
mean,
to get into trouble. So,
well,
which doesn't
yeah,
really
like
take
that
That
whole
doesn't take
thing that
long.
they did could have been 15 minutes. So I think you've been going for a couple of hours. It's in midday. I think that you probably wouldn't expect to arrive there before sundown tonight. So the question would be whether you would want to keep trying to go further in the dark or camp again. But it wouldn't be that much further than that. So, like, once sun goes down, you would probably have a few more hours worth of riding.
Okay.
That's where you are.
Yeah. So I say, I think it probably is another half day, maybe. We will not be there before dark.
Okay. I'll relay all this to the rest. Is there anything else that you think they should know, or is there any questions you have?
If someone would like to switch out soon, I am not used to this amount of riding on horseback. My body makes complaints, but you know. I am okay.
I'll see if anybody is able.
And he'll go back and relay the bits of information he got from them about from Carolina about the airship and the desire to not sit on a horse for several more hours.
I mean, I could go a little bit further, but yeah, probably not another 12 hours.
So maybe we want to hold off on the exploration of the pipe. I really want to know what it is, and I kind of, well, part of me wants to do it before the potential of the nightmares return for tonight, because nightmares, at least colloquially, come when you sleep, and they come back full each time you sleep. I don't know if that creature follows those same rules. I really don't know much about it, but it's one of the possibilities I've outlined for myself. If that's the case, then it being defeated now might be dormant for this moment, but it might be fully formed back again tomorrow, which means we would have it to deal with as well as everything else.
Okay, well, it'll also give you a data point. If we don't do anything, we can see if I get a nightmare or not.
I'm
True.
pretty sure that you will. I have a feeling that whatever form this corruption is, we haven't gotten rid of it. And if it's some sort of conduit for this Dinetherian, or actually more appropriately, external shadow creatures, sorry, Zaleen, it's the only words that I have for this at the moment, then that conduit is still wide open.
I wonder,
I would
did
like to
that
find-
creature give all of us nightmares, or just Zinhorn? Do we each have our own
What
fuzzy little buddy?
It seemed remarkably focused on Zinhorn.
Yeah.
I'll also add that Zinhorn, you somehow just looking at it just intuitively knew. Even though you didn't see that creature in the nightmare, looking at it, it was just like you could just tell. You just knew it. You could feel it. That's what it was. The rest of you didn't have anything like
When
that.
you were in your
Each
nightmares,
probably had
Zinhorn,
one to deal with.
did you notice anything that looked at all like this creature in your nightmare? What?
No,
No.
my nightmare was about things at the orphanage going wrong. And it was very familiar people and this one kid that I had convinced to join the orphanage. So, you know,
And that wasn't related to a memory of yours, was it?
never saw the kid before in my life. In fact, the kid was the only one that I didn't know. So maybe the creature was the kid, or maybe it was just outside of the whole delusion.
I have
Nightmare
another
controlling it.
I have another possibility. It'll be tricky to time, but it might give us more information. It could be really dangerous too, but that's normally the case. I have the ability to, well, I can extract people's memories sometimes. I haven't really done it all that much. I've really only extracted my own. It's a useful tool to be able to, well, do more than just write a few words down. You can transfer entire ideas and memories like that. It might be possible if I can figure out when someone else is having one of these nightmares and I can tap into their mind, I might be able to pull it out. I don't have any real place to put it at the moment, and it might just pop out like that creature did. Or it might be a very interesting data point.
Worth giving a try.
I like it. We have so many experiments.
Yeah. So, what I'm going to do is, as you all are continuing this conversation, we're going to do one of those cool camera shots where it seems to pan up through the floor of a building. And we're going to pan up past the kitchen and then up to the bedroom where Evan is sprawled out on the big old bed in there, sleeping. But as the camera moves in and moves into a close up of his face, at first he's peaceful, but then starts to frown and starts to twitch uncomfortably in his sleep, and that's where we'll end our session for tonight.
That's gonna mess up his eyeliner.
He really should have read the fine print on the contract when he signed on to become a member of this crew.
Yeah.
I'm sure we wrote it down.
Yes. Did you sign the you may be infected with nightmares waiver?
Need a little handbook. So you've been corrupted by nightmares.
Yeah. So
I feel like we should have tattoos.
Consult your pocket protector if your nightmare lasts.
So we will continue this investigation more next week when we return for more adventure on so many levels.
So many levels.
levels.